Suddenly powerless in Tokyo prison after his arrest, Carlos Ghosn plans an audacious escape and flees Japan while out on bail. Out of reach of Japanese authorities, the once celebrated CEO of Nissan and Renault defends his legacy as he faces new investigations by French and other authorities, who gave him this extraordinary power to run two global companies on different continents. What role did the corporate governance systems at Nissan and Renault play? Before starting the video, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. Born in Brazil in 1954, raised in Lebanon, and educated in France, Ghosn was fluent in Portuguese, Arabic, English, and French when he left an 18-year career with tire manufacturer Michelin in 1996 to join Renault as its second-in-command. In 1999, on the heels of Renault's $5.4 billion investment in Nissan, Ghosn was known as Le Cost Cutter, was dispatched to Tokyo. There, as Nissan COO, he oversaw a rapid and ruthlessly executed return to profitability, becoming CEO in 2001. Nissan was $19 billion in debt when he arrived, with only 4 of its 43 models turning a profit. By 2004, Nissan's annual profit margin had grown to 11%. Vehicle sales surged from 2.6 million to nearly 3.4 million by early 2005. The next year, Ghosn as CEO of Renault as well, becoming the first person to run 2 Fortune Global 500 companies at the same time. Accolades poured in as Ghosn was lionized for managing a mutually beneficial blend of 2 very different corporate and national cultures, shaping an alliance that grew with the admission of Mitsubishi and other car makers into the world's largest auto group by 2016. In Japan, admiration amounted to reverence. The CEO was the first foreigner ever to receive a prestigious blue ribbon medal from the emperor himself and the hero of a popular manga, The True Story of Carlos Ghosn. The surface dazzle lasted almost 2 decades, and when the fissures underneath far more papered over than sealed, Graymill and Sposato argue split open, the fall of Carlos Ghosn was as shocking as it was spectacular. The spectacular downfall of the former Nissan chairman in late 2018 made headlines on front pages around the world, as did his audacious escape from Japan more than a year later. Throughout the affair, Ravinder Pasi had a grandstand seat. As Nissan's top global lawyer, he was a witness to a corporate meltdown that he describes as the lunatics taking over the asylum. At the time of Carlos Ghosn's arrest, Mr. Pasi, a 45-year-old British lawyer, was working as Nissan's global general counsel, leading a team of 250 people. He was asked to take part in the investigation into Mr. Ghosn's affairs. He says now he has no idea whether or not the former chairman was guilty of the charges he faced in Japan, but he does paint a vivid picture of disharmony and dysfunction within Nissan itself. It'll give me the first opportunity officially to give my own version and my own justification, he told the Associated Press in a lengthy interview in Beirut, where he has lived as an international fugitive on Interpol's most wanted list since his brazen flight from justice in December 2019. French investigative judges are due to arrive in the Lebanese capital to depose Ghosn over the course of a week, beginning on Monday, about alleged financial misconduct amounting to millions of dollars. France has already frozen his assets there, including 2 sprawling homes. Ghosn told AP he voluntarily agreed to be questioned, believing that face-to-face interrogation in his fluent French might offer him his best shot yet at overcoming his daunting legal problems. Up until now, the French investigators have had a biased source of information, he said in a wide-ranging interview in a hotel in Beirut where he lives under armed protection. French prosecutors, he says, have until now been dealing with details about his business dealings which were taken out of context and completely skewed. I'm hoping that with my explanations and the documents that we have, we can influence the process. In November 2018, senior executives at Nissan sprung a trap. They lured their jet-setting chairman and his closest associate, Greg Kelly, to Tokyo for an urgent, high-level meeting. When Mr. Ghosn arrived at Tokyo's Haneda airport, however, he soon found himself under arrest. He was charged with financial crimes, including failing to report his true earnings. Prosecutors were acting on the information provided by Nissan itself, much of it collated by Mr. Ghosn's own chief of staff, Hari Nada. Mr. Ghosn subsequently claimed he was the victim of a plot orchestrated by Mr. Nada and the chief executive, Hiroto Seikawa, alongside high-ranking government officials. It was carried out, he said, to derail a planned merger between Nissan and its French partner company Renault, which they feared would give French shareholders too much influence over the Japanese carmaker. That is a charge which Nissan and Mr. Saikawa, who has since left the company, have repeatedly denied. Ravinder Pasi was one of a handful of people within Nissan who knew about the planned arrests beforehand, but even at this early stage, he says he had deep misgivings about the process. "I was called into Hari Nada's office and told there was going to be a dramatic arrest, arranged for maximum publicity," he explains. When you lie to someone to get them back into a particular jurisdiction so that you can have them arrested in a very public manner, that says a lot about what's going on. The clash of values between Japanese and Western judicial norms, put under a spotlight by Ghosn's celebrity status, makes up perhaps the most compelling chapter in Collision Course. But it's only one of the collisions Greenwell and Sposato explore. Even in his glory days, Ghosn trod on national sensitivities in Japan. At his first Nissan shareholders meeting in 2000, he was upbraided for failing to bow before his speech. "You've got to teach him some manners," an attendee yelled at a senior Japanese executive. His cost-cutting shredded traditional business arrangements. Even the matter of Ghosn's hidden compensation was rooted in cultural differences. The kind of pay differentials with ordinary workers that American CEOs can flaunt verge on taboo in Japan, and Nissan executives, fearing a better offer might lure Ghosn to the US, cooperated in obscuring his real income. Feeling aggrieved and persecuted, Ghosn told the AP he believes he is up against powerful foes who are determined to permanently destroy his reputation. "Obviously, I've been the object of a character assassination campaign, frankly massive, led by obviously Nissan with the prosecutor in Japan and the complicity of the Japanese government," he says in his AP interview. Japan's accomplices in France, he says, have until now believed the version of events spun by Nissan executives and the Japanese government. The French are probing whether Ghosn, a gregarious outside personality, used a total of about 630,000 euros, about $770,000, of Renault's company funds to throw 2 black-tie dinner parties in the sumptuous Versailles Chateau outside Paris, where actors dressed in 18th century gowns and wigs entertained guests. One was billed as a celebration of the Renault-Nissan alliance, but French authorities are investigating whether it was really to celebrate Ghosn's 60th birthday on which it fell. Also under investigation is whether Ghosn funneled 11 million euros, about $13.56 million, to himself and his family, which flowed from a Dutch subsidiary through an auto dealer in Oman. As the story unfolded, more unusual things began to happen. There were extensive leaks to the media which he says cast Ghosn in a particular light and was in favor of Nissan. This information, he claims, was coming directly from the CEO's office, which Mr. Nada was in charge of, and some of it was highly classified. Other concerns emerged from the investigation itself, which implicated not only Mr. Nada but the CEO himself in serious conflicts of interest. These included the fact that Mr. Saikawa had signed documents relating to the very pay arrangements later said to be illegal, something which Mr. Saikawa later admitted in court. It's possible that Ghosn was both a fraudster and a fall guy. Nissan executives, happy to ignore his questionable actions while he was rescuing their company, knew just how to bring him down when they judged him both unneeded and potentially hostile. That leads the authors to their one certain conclusion: the risks of doing international business are high indeed in a world that remains, at its heart, intensely nationalistic. Nearly 17 months after Carlos Ghosn made a stunning escape from the trial in Japan smuggled inside a musical box, the former chairman of the Nissan Renault Mitsubishi Auto Alliance is hoping to try to salvage his reputation with one more risky legal gambit. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell icon for more updates and notifications. Stay safe, and we'll be back soon with another video.